All right, using the quadratic formula part 2. Now we're going to use that discriminant that we learned how to find and put it into the whole thing and get the actual solutions. Ready? Remember, our last lesson was all about the discriminant. And the discriminant is what's right under the hood, right here, right? B squared minus 4AC. There's where the discriminant goes. Do you remember when I said the discriminant tells you how many solutions? If it's a positive discriminant, there are 2 solutions. If it's a 0 discriminant, there's 1 solution. If it's a negative discriminant, there's no solution. Can you take a moment and just write those 2 things down? Positive discriminant, 2 solutions. 0 discriminant, 1 solution. Negative discriminant, no solution at all. Okay, let's try one. What the heck? This has to equal 0. Sorry about that. I forgot to type that in. First, we're going to find the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. b squared minus 4ac. b here is 6, a is 1, c is negative 16, right? 6 squared is 36. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 16 is a bigger number. 64. Negative 64, right? Because this negative goes there, and then we're multiplying all these positives, except this guy's a negative, so it's actually going to be negative. So we have a negative and a negative. 2 negatives together, bam, bam, they're positive. 36 plus 64 equals 100. The discriminant is 100. Positive 100. How many solutions are there to this quadratic equation? It's positive. Therefore, there's 2 solutions. Right? That means we got a little work to do. We're going to take this discriminant now and find those 2 solutions. So first step was find the discriminant. We found out that that was positive 100. How many solutions? There were 2 solutions. Now we're going to write the quad formula out using the discriminant we found. Okay, the quadratic formula is opposite b plus and minus the square root of the discriminant all over 2a. So I'm going to go down here, opposite b plus minus the square root of the discriminant, and the discriminant is 100. All over 2 times a, and a is 1, right? b is 6. Okay, next step. Now we have it written out. We use the discriminant here under the square root thing. Simplify the discriminant. Okay, the square root of 100. Well, that's the square root of 10 times the square root of 10, right? Square root of 10 times the square root of 10 means that's 10. So now instead of writing the square root of 100, can I just write 10? I got negative 6 plus 10. 2 times 1 is 2. Negative 6 minus 10. 2 times 1 is still 2. Negative 6 plus 10 is 4. Divided by 2, that equals 2. Negative 6 minus 10, that's negative 16. Divided by 2 equals negative 8. Our solutions are 2 and negative 8. Make sense? Let's try another one. Step 1, find the discriminant. b squared minus 4ac. b squared minus 4ac. That should be okay. b is negative 6. 3, negative 72. I'm going to put all this in a calculator. Let's see if I can get a number. Minus 4, 3, open parenthesis, negative 72, close that parenthesis. Ooh, I got 900. We're certainly getting some interesting numbers here, aren't we? Okay, so the discriminant is positive 900. How many solutions will there be? There will be 2 solutions. Okay, so now I'm going to write the quad formula with the discriminant. The quadratic formula is opposite b plus and minus the square root of the discriminant all over 2a, and our b was -6, a was 3. All right, simplify the discriminant. So we got the square root of 900. Can I say that's the square root of 9 times the square root of 100? The square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 100 is 10. 3 times 10 equals 30, right? So now I can go -6 is +6. 6 plus 30 divided by 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 30 divided by 2 times 3, which is 6. 6 plus 30 is 36. 36 divided by 6 is 6. 6 minus 30 is -24. -24 divided by 6 is -4. There's our two solutions. Make sense? It's not too hard. Well, these are pretty easy examples, though, actually. Let's see if we can make it a little more complicated. Let's try this one. First step, find the discriminant. How many solutions? b squared minus 4ac, right? That's the discriminant. b squared minus 4ac. b is -8, a is 11, c is 11. -8 squared is 64. Bring the minus down. 4 times 11 times 11 is 484. Okay. And since this is positive, 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 this is positive, and we're just going to bring this negative down, right? 64 minus 484 is 420 negative. So the discriminant is -420. How many solutions when the discriminant is negative? There is no solution. I'm done. That's the end of that problem. We don't have anything else to do. Okay, let's try this one. First thing you have to notice is that the right side is not 0. So we first have to make this right side 0. We're going to have that 2 jump the fence. Now we got r squared plus 12r. -66 plus 2 is -64. Now we have a 0. Okay, now we could find the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. B is 12, A is 1, C is -64. 12 squared is 144. 4 times 1 times -64 is -256. Okay, so 100, bam, bam, right? Because we got two negatives together. So 144 plus 256 equals 144 plus 256, 400. So the discriminant is 400, right? Okay. So now I'm going to go back to the quadratic formula, opposite b plus or minus the square root of the discriminant, which is 400, all over 2 times a. Let's get rid of this thing here. Oh, come on, eraser. Small, sure. B is 12, and a is 1, right? So we're going to simplify the discriminant. The square root of 400 equals 4 times 100. 2 times 10 is 20. So we got -12 plus 20 divided by 2. -12 minus 20 divided by 2. -12 plus 20 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. -12 minus 20 is -32. divided by 2 is negative 16. There's our answers. Right? Okay, last one. Remember what the first step was? The first step was discriminant. B squared minus 4AC, right? B squared minus 4AC. What's B? This 2 is in front of an R squared, so that's A. Oh, we have to jump the fence too, right? Plus 8 plus 8, 2R squared, negative 19 plus 8 is negative 11 equals 0. There is no B. B is 0, and C is negative 11. Okay, 0 squared is 0 minus 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times negative 11 is negative 88, right? 0, bam, bam, plus 88 is 88. So the discriminant is positive. How many solutions are we going to have? 2. 2 solutions. All right, cool. And 88 is a discriminant, so now we're going to write out the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is opposite B plus and minus the square root of the discriminant all over 2A. Opposite B. Oh, and B was 0. A was 2. Okay, good. So now we have to simplify the square root of 88. Are there any perfect squares that we can get out of 88? I'm thinking definitely a 4, huh? Yep. 4 is going to be 22, isn't it? 4 times 2 is 8, yeah. Okay, so that's 2 square root of 22, right? But this is a 0, so we don't even really care. So positive 2 square root of 22 divided by 4, negative 2 square root of 22 divided by 4. 2 divided by 4, we can simplify that. 1 square root of 22 over 2, right? Because these both will divide by 2. Negative 1 square root of 22 over 2. Positive 1 square root of 22 over 2 and negative 1 square root of 22 over 2. You ready to try some on your own? Good. This will be fun. Make sure you give me a call or email me or text me or something if you have questions. Please let me know.